What is up, everyone? It is Drew Rosengarten with Armcorp Construction. We are here for another Meet the Employee episode. Might sound a little different right now because I am hosting today, and Kelby is in the hot seat. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. We'll just get right into it. So I guess you've told us about yourself a few times in the episode, but
I can dive into it deeper. So I'm Kelby. Everybody knows me by now, I think, if they've listened to any of the shows, but I'm the safety coordinator for Armcorp Construction. I'm also the main title that everybody tagged me with right away when I came was the boss's son. Along here with the other boss's son. A lot comes with that, but I think I've gained the respect of most of the company as the boss's son, but I don't like to fall into that trap. But anyway, I was in the Air Force for 8 years, down in Charleston, South Carolina the entire time, basically, besides training. I have 3 kids, a wife, amazing family. I love being around them, love doing everything I can with them. Like I said, spent 8 years of my life in the Air Force. I wanted to do spec ops. I've talked about that before. Wanted to go over there and fight for my country, kill the bad guys, blah, 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 all that stuff. But didn't end up being able – I didn't do that. I was public health, so a medical job. Public health is kind of – the food inspectors and all the random stuff people didn't want to do in the hospital. I was doing it. Hearing test. I was giving hearing tests. I know everything about the ear if you have questions. So that was my career in the Air Force. At the final 1 to 2 years in, I got into safety. Started working with base safety. Was talking to those guys, going to some trainings with them. I was really interested because I had a supervisor. I've told this story multiple times that took me out to a civil engineering job, and there was dust everywhere. And he asked me, "You see all that dust?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You see all those workers?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you think those workers go home and take their uniforms off before they hug their kids, hug their wife, anything like that, their dog?" I said, "Man, probably not, because I don't." So he said, "Everybody thinks on the surface of that dust is getting on the uniform. I got to protect myself from breathing that dust in. But you don't think about the other dominoes." I use the domino effect a lot. Just everybody looks on the surface as there's a line of dominoes. And everybody looks at that first one. They only look what's on the surface. They don't look what's after it, like what it can affect after that first domino if it falls, what's going to affect after it. So if your kids come running up to you and all that dust from your uniform puffs off, and now your kids have just inhaled that, and what's in concrete dust is silica, and that can cause silicosis down the road. So that right there, kind of the looking past what's on the surface, is what gained my interest into the safety field. So cut to, Dad had always been trying to get me to come back to work for the company, blah, 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 but I wanted to have a career in the Air Force. I enjoyed having our life. Being in Charleston was great, but I know if I would have stayed in, we would have moved. But anyway, he finally said, "Oh, you're in safety now. We need a safety guy." So it took about a year for him to talk me into it, and I finally was just like getting tugged towards this. And cut to today, I'm starting to realize why I was pulled here. But I ended up coming to Armcorp, really new to the safety world. You really need to have 5 years of experience to do about everything, get all the certifications. I really expedited everything because the company needed it. There's specs that the VA and stuff needed. So, yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I don't know what else we need to know.
I actually thought of a question right now. If you didn't do the safety public health process through the Air Force, do you think you would be here? If you went another route like spec ops or anything like that, do you think you'd be at Armcorp?
No, 100% do not think that. Like I said, going into the Air Force, I didn't have the fiance, I didn't have the girlfriend. I was training to be pararescue. That was the first thing. When I was going to my recruiter, I said, "I want to do pararescue." Or I saw their videos. I saw the cool videos. I was like, "I want to do that." So I was training, getting ready for that. I was about to leave in a month. And then we went on our family vacation, which I didn't really need to go on because I was about to leave, getting ready for the Air Force. And so I got taught, I was like, this might be the last time I'm able to spend time with family for a while, because, I mean, those trainings are super long. So I went, ended up meeting Leah, my wife now. Cool story. We call it the simple wave. We basically just met off of a wave, downtown Gatlinburg. I mean, there's a lot of people that know Gatlinburg. It's big. There's a lot of people that go there in the summer. And we just kept in touch. She was from Kentucky. I'm from Ohio. We just kept seeing each other, and then cut to, we got engaged and pregnant real quick.
Fast.
But hey, we're still here. We're stronger than ever. We have 3 kids now, but yeah, I don't think circle back to the story is, I met her. So I went to my recruiter, said, I don't want to leave yet. And he got upset because these are numbers for him and especially spec ops jobs. So he said, all right, well, I'll give you a call when the next slot comes up. And he called me, I think like a week or 2 later, said, there's an EOD job came up. A girl got pregnant. She can't go. And so I said, let me talk to the parents. I said, EOD. And I think mom was like, what's that? Explosive or not? Right at his explosive. She's like, nope.
Not happening.
Nope. So
even though that's basically what dad did in the military.
Yeah. Definitely. So I said, nope. He's like, all right, I'll call you back. So he called me back a month later and said, there's a CCT job, combat control. And that's kind of just air support from the ground, bear-based stuff. You go in, you set up the bear base, you call in air support, you call in all the supplies, just out in the middle of nowhere, basically is your air traffic control on the ground. And so I was like, oh, cool, sounds good. I had a bonus I was getting ready to get a bonus, big bonus. I was doing all the battlefield airman stuff in basic. And then my knees, I had knee surgery. They were bugging me, so I got washed out. They said, you can go do air traffic control school down in Biloxi. And they said, if you get through that, we'll reevaluate and see if you can come back go through the CCT route. And I said, okay, go to Biloxi, cut to. I didn't pass through that. Got another chance because having an honor graduate and all these other accolades from basic and tech school, I was able to get another shot. So that's how I got to go to public health. And it's crazy how things work when you look back on them, especially the path I'm on now with God. It's like all that stuff happens for a reason. All of that's part of the path. At the time, you don't think about it. You don't see it as that. You just see, oh, this is just what it is. And people get upset about it or they loathe on it and just get depressed and stuff. But back then, it was a lot.
Well, at the time, it's like the crap you don't want to do is like God's plan for you. It's like public health and Air Force. That's not cool.
That's
at all.
So true. I didn't want to do.
That's boring.
It sucked. Like it was cool to have. When I look back on it, it was cool to have different knowledge, but I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand being at a desk, which I'm kind of at now, but I still get to go out the field. But I was sitting at a desk. It was terrible.
That's like legit chair force.
Like, and hardcore. I mean, yeah, make all your jokes, but I was in a hospital, so the crowd, the people there is dominant of women. So it's just, there's gossip, there's cattiness, everybody's out for themselves. I couldn't stand it. That's one of the reasons I got out, was because it was just people were about them. Like they looked out for you, but when you were lateral with someone, it was like, I want to get this award. I'm going to do this. I'm going to undercut you. And it's so political, and I couldn't stand it. And I know hearing from people that spec ops and stuff and all those other jobs aren't like that, but oh, well, I found my path. Dad and I figured it out, and I'm here doing safety.
You're out. So with everything you learned through the Air Force with OSHA and all the safety requirements, and now that you've been here for 5 years,
a little over 4.
So what effect does your role have within Armed Corps?
So I like to tell people, I just said it today to a client we had a meeting with. I said, I'm not your traditional safety guy. I'm going to put this out there right now. The safety first saying is so stupid. The safety culture is stupid. I will stand by that, and some may just get offended by that, but people say they care about people, but when you go to these many meetings and seminars,
I saw it firsthand.
All they care about is trends and numbers and, what's the
awards.
New PPE? Like, go talk to your people, get to know them. Like, if they're not right at home, if there's something not right with their kids or whatever it is, they're not going to give you 100%. They're not going to put that safety on. They're going to cut corners. Mm-hmm. They're not going to put the PPE on that they're required. They don't care.
It's really weird because I went to that conference yesterday, and all the people that you think would care about you at a safety care about themselves. It was very self-centered, and all they wanted was very like rewards for them. Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird concept.
Yeah. I know I have to do what I have to do, especially with our jobs and the standards and all that, but I'm not the guy that's going to come out and throw a standard in your face. And yes, I follow the book, but not to a T where it just doesn't make sense. Like, I have field experience, and that's what I highly recommend for all safety officers or whatever you want to call yourself. Go get some field experience. Get out there with your guys and do some work, because you'll understand that the situation you're telling them they have to do, or the PPE they have to use, it honestly makes it more unsafe sometimes when you really think about it.
Yeah, it does.
So that's not me. I think my effect on the company is I care about you. I want you to be here 100% because I don't want to work next to somebody that just had an argument with their wife that morning and they're not focused on the job. So guess what? You're not only putting yourself in danger, you're putting me in danger too. And I'm not about that. So yeah, that's, I think, just creating that rapport, creating the relationship with our guys is the most important. Guys and girls, we have had girls on the field, even in the office, is just creating that relationship and showing that you care.
Yeah.
That's my effect.
Yeah.
So
you obviously worked at ArmCorp right when it began, and so did I, but I wasn't in the field. I was too young. I was just mowing around.
I was a dumb kid that didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah. But I mean, you were there before the Air Force and now you're here after the Air Force. So with all those years combined, what's the most memorable part of ArmCorp that you've had so far?
Man, that's a tough one. The most memorable is just the people here. And when you do establish those relationships and get to know them, it's astronomical. The culture was great. I think the people made the culture here when I first came here, but now that we're making the culture, the energy's changing off of what we're doing here and what we're trying to change and implement. I think that's the most exciting part. But I think the most memorable is just the people. I mean, the conversations you get to have every day.
Yeah.
The stuff you learn, because you don't have that when you're not going around asking people.
Right.
That's what's memory. Creating memories is creating, like, having the conversation. You're creating memories together, going on trips to the job sites and just having conversations.
People don't know how to have conversations with each other anymore. It's all social media and all looking at our phones. It's like the phone. Conversations dead.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if there's anything really jumps out at me that's memorable. I just try to live, obviously, one day at a time and just do the best that I can at what I'm doing. But I think just the memories are the conversations and the people here. There's so many different people. It's so interesting. Take the time to go out and talk to your people.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see. Now, do you think we would have the same culture as we do now if we were based in like a city aspect, like a bigger city?
It depends. It depends on if it's coming from the top. It all starts at the top. If you don't have buy-in from like the owner or the executives, you have to set that standard. So I don't think it matters where it's at. If you set the standard and you hold that standard and don't waver from it, it could be the same anywhere, no matter where you're at. Yeah. Because if you have someone come in and they buy in right away, they're like, yeah, I'm all for that. But then they start slipping a little. If you waver from your standard just to satisfy them, no, it's not gonna work. You have to hold that standard, and no matter where you're at, you're gonna get the people. You're gonna get the right people. The right people are out there. So don't waste your time on people who are not buying in, who are not helping it, who are not moving the needle. So yeah, I think wherever you're at, it doesn't matter. Hold that standard. Mm-hmm. And when you have the people inside when you have those workers who are your people, not only you have to lead by example. That's what leaders are. But when you have the people that are bought in and doing that and following you and becoming leaders themselves, you're golden.
Yeah.
But when it's broke, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think you can do, to answer your question, I think you can do that anywhere.
Absolutely. I think so too. Moving on, where do you see your future with ArmCorp? I know you've explored more opportunities moving forward with like culture and everything, but like, where do you see your future at? Is it with safety or is it with culture?
I don't think it's with safety, but for me, I think safety is it's part of that whole human health. If you want someone to be safe, you've got to make it meaningful for them. You've got to get them to want to do it. We cannot control everybody. I can't move your arm to your mouth with a spoon and make you eat. That's you. I can't make someone put their hard hat on. I can't. I don't care how many times you preach it and write them up or fire them. They'll go to the next company and do the same thing. That is their choice at the end of the day. This is their choice. So at first, yes, it was safety, but now I'm transitioning more into like a performance improvement, overall performance quality, behavior, just mind, body, spirit type stuff. Like I want to help people every aspect of life, Because it goes back to, if they're not 100% at home, they're not giving us 100% here. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they say they're good. Look at the suicide rates, especially in men and blue-collar men.
Yeah.
Highest rate in the United States, I'm pretty sure. Does that not say something to people?
Right.
So talk to them. Get to know them. The stigma of men saying, I'm going to bury this, and not talk about it, it's not the way to go.
Yeah, I saw yesterday in the safety conference, the suicide is the second highest killer behind car accidents.
And why do you think we're having those conversations? Why do we have to have those conversations at a seminar, a statewide seminar?
Yeah.
Why do we have to have those?
It's so sad.
So what are we going to do about it? We're going to have these conversations, but is it going to go one ear out the other?
Right.
No. For me, I'm transitioning to see myself as being, you can call it a coach, you can call it a leader, whatever, but I want to make sure the right things are being done within this organization. I want to make sure my people are good, because if they're not good, they're not returning home good to their family. It's you. It's people first. I was going to point up here, we usually have it at the bottom of our PowerPoints, but it's people first. It's not safety first.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. Stop saying safety first, because if that's all you're focused on, that you've lost everybody. That's such a dumb saying. I'm sorry, but it's a dumb saying. I don't agree with it. It should be safety always when they feel that. When you establish that relationship, when you establish that trust with them, they're like, oh man, I trust this guy. I will do whatever they ask me to do, just because they know they've got my interest. I've got their interest. They're going to take care of me. I'll take care of them. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that.
Right.
So where I see myself is just more and more slowly transitioning into that, just being out there and helping our people, helping them have that total human health of, they're not spread across all aspects of life. They're 100% at work. They're 100% with their wife, husband. They're 100% with their kids. When they're there, be present. It's on you. Everything's your fault. Every decision is your fault. Every result you get in your life is your fault. 100%. I'm totally bought on that. From the moment you wake up, it's you versus you. You hear that and it's a buzz phrase out there, but think about it. No one can make you do anything. Mm-hmm. No one can make you think anything. No one can make you feel a way. They might make you feel a way. That's still your choice. Feelings, now feel the feelings, men. Don't bury them down. Feel the feelings. God made those feelings for a reason. So you're allowed to. Yeah. But don't bury them. No one can make you do anything physically. Nothing. Unless they legit, I don't believe it. I'm trying to make an excuse, but no. It is on you. There's no excuses.
Yeah. What would you rewrite the safety coordinator title as?
That's a good question. Holy crap. That performance.
Yeah. Because
safety is overall performance. You're performing safety. You're performing your job.
Right.
So it's these safety officers and stuff go out there and almost, I don't want to say, I'm not speaking for all, but I do know some good ones that I've had conversation with, and that's what I gravitate to. But just being like a personal, a counselor almost.
Yeah.
Just caring that performance improvement, the coach, the life coach. Go out and care about them, because you got project managers, you got estimators. They don't have time really. They can go out and have the conversations with the guys, but they don't have the time with their responsibilities.
Yeah.
Project managers are swamped. Everybody's got their own role, but a safety coordinator is the one that has direct contact with the office guys, the field guys, the executives. So yeah, you're almost that counselor. You're that motivator. You're that I don't know about like a head coach, because obviously that's your executive guy, but you're performance coach. Like you see those guys on football sidelines getting pumped up, getting jacked up with the guys. That's what I see a safety coordinator being, getting you pumped up, getting you motivated. Yeah. Like that's what I see myself. That's what I ultimately, if I could ever one day, is be a performance coach on the sideline with a football team. That's what I want to do, because I know I can be there to give them this little hint. Hey, you're in your head right now. Stop. What have I taught you? What have you learned? It's all in your head. Mm-hmm. So I guess, a performance coach.
Now, does that idea and those goals relate to your corporate and personal goals?
100%. Because I got to do it for myself first. I can't preach something that I'm not even practicing.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing what I'm saying that you should be doing, How are you going to take me serious?
Yeah.
If I'm not working out, I'm telling you to work out 6-7 times a week. Well, screw him.
Yeah.
How are you going to take me serious if I'm telling you to do that? If I'm going to tell you to read and I'm not reading, that's building that trust. That's building that's integrity, the standard, the accountability. Like that's all that. So I got to start with myself, and then I can go out and make an impact on others. So
yeah. What other personal goals do you have besides all of that lovely?
Lovely. I mean, personal goals. I'm more and more not really a goals person. I'm just an action. I'm more transitioning to fire, aim, fire. It's not ready, aim, fire. Just fire. Take action, recalibrate, aim, fire again. That's my motto right now. And yes, I obviously want stuff. I have visions. Maybe I guess goals and visions are kind of the same.
Yeah.
But I want to help people. I know my passion is helping people by telling my story, by sharing. I mean, giving people me, giving what I've learned and add value in my way. Yeah, I would get intimidated. I have fire through fog, and that's still there. It's going to come back because everybody has fog in their life. We're surrounded by it. We're surrounded by evil thoughts, evil emotions, evil actions, and that's where I'm going with this. Is we control everything. We can build this fire, internal fire, by how do you build a fire? A fire starts with a spark. There's your motivation. Get motivated to get up and go do something. But then you have to sustain that. You can add extra motivation by throwing gas on a fire, but that's temporary. That's small, but it's a big burst. You have to start adding logs, like big things. Start with little sticks. You got to start small. So start with the little sticks, the thatch or whatever they call it. But then when you get to that point where you have a steady fire, a blue flame, you're able to throw a wet log on there and it's going to stink and burn. If it's hot enough, guess what? You're going to start spreading to others. I know wildfires are not great at all, but that's when you get to the point where you've built your big enough internal fire that you can start spreading light on others. Because when you look at fog and you see a fire through it, that fire is shining through it. Mm-hmm. So when you are a big enough fire, you can shine through all that fog, and then you can spread it to everybody else and help them. So that's me. I'm trying to build my fire now, start putting logs on it, burning steady, getting hot, getting massive light. And then I want to pass that along to others, especially kids, the next generation.
The next generation is, I think this generation's pretty messed up, but the next generation is very important.
But we can also make them realize that there's a way out.
I mean, I think they are starting to realize, but the next generation is very important.
Yes, my kids, I'm trying to re-guide myself. It all comes down to me first. Like I said, I'm not even there yet and may never, but if I can keep myself accountable and hold my standards, then I can start passing it along to others and help them, because there's a way out of it. You start building that fire. That's the only thing. The fog's not going to go away. Life's not going to get any easier at all. And when you start pursuing excellence, it's going to get even harder. You're going to get pursued more by the devil, by the evil. You're going to get pursued more because they see the excellence happening. They see that you're becoming a warrior. Yeah. They see that you're getting a massive fire that's going to shine right through it. That doesn't matter how thick that fog is. You have a fire big enough, no matter what, to sustain it. And you're going to keep adding logs on it. Keep working out. Every time you lift 225 pounds, that's a stick on the fire. Every time you read a page of book, that's a stick on the fire. And it's just going to keep that going. That's your fire. Yeah. I mean, does that make sense to you? Yeah, because this is all, even talking about it out loud just makes it even more prominent that I need to do this.
Right. So, yeah.
Those are the goals, I guess, just to help as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I want to make for a corporate goal, I want to make Armcorp the greatest construction company out there.
Yeah.
I want it to be where people are fighting to come work here.
Yeah.
Because we have this culture that it not only supports people going off and doing their own thing because they have hopes and dreams. That's what I want. But they don't want to leave because of the culture, because of the camaraderie, because of the brotherhood or the sisterhood or just the family. But then we also have a pipeline of people who are like waiting just at the bits, just wanting to come work here.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. And if I could put my vision inside of what that looks like on a movie, we'd have people lined up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Love it. Moving on to the next question, because that was a lot to unpack. So other companies, being a safety guy, you're usually the one that's not the most loved out of the company. But for here, do you feel like it's different? Do you feel like what do you think some employees would say about you if they were asked?
That question just brought it out, what you were saying, what my thing would be. I don't think I would be a safety coordinator. I don't see myself as a safety coordinator. I see myself as a friend, a coworker, someone who cares. And that right there, I think that's where I gain my respect. Yeah. I come out there and the first thing I say isn't, hey, where's your hard hat? Yeah. Maybe now if they're in direct line of a hazard or getting hurt right then and there, I'll say something. But I think where we've built it and most of our guys have common sense that they can make that decision. Yeah. Not saying it's because of me, what I've done the last 4 years, but I think they would never do that. But I'm coming up to you and asking you, hey, how's your wife? How's your spouse? How's your kids? How's your dog? By name. Yeah. Because I know that. And that's where I think I think they see me as someone that cares and is trying to make the best of every situation. Yeah. Trying to do right by the company.
I mean, you're changing the stigma of safety coordinators or directors, whatever you want to really call it. But you're not that one just pushing for awards, pushing for safety all the time. You're actually caring. And
I don't want any awards.
You don't care about yourself. Yeah. You care about everyone here.
We're trying to do awards internally for the company. I mean, I want to. It's going to happen.
Right. It looks good, but it's not what it's all about.
No, not at all. Awards, it's good for that person because if I see something I want to award, like I want to recognize that. I mean, for some, it feels good. Let's not lie. If I get recognized for something, it feels good. Yeah. But it's how you carry yourself after that. Are you going to continue that? Yeah. You set that standard to get you there. Now, are you just done? You're going to relax? You're going to let off? So.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right. Well, moving on to the last and final question. What is something about ArmCorp that you would want everyone to know? I feel like this is going to be very impactful.
Something that it's not there yet, but it will be. We will be what I vision ArmCorp to be, is a place where the culture's so good, it's bigger than your hopes and dreams if you're internally here. But we will be there to support you and push you out the door if you have something bigger. And then behind that, we have people within the company. We have a pipeline of people that we would have no worries about what their experience is. Right. They can come right in, and we have a crew. We have the right people that will teach you. Just have the right attitude. Be positive. Be willing to learn. This goes for anything in life.
It really
anything
does.
In life. Yeah. Take this and run. I want that pipeline to have just people just wanting to work here. Right. I want our employees to be walking banners and billboards for this company where they just brag about ArmCorp. So what was the question again?
So what is something about ArmCorp that you would want everyone to know?
We're going to be bigger than what we for sure are now. And it's not going to stop. Yeah. We're a train that's not going to be stopped in all light of everything. We're not going to be stopped. No matter what gets put in front of us, we're not going to stop. We are going in the right direction. We have the right people in place to make things happen and make things right. Yeah. That's what I want people to know. And this train is not going to stop. As long as I'm sitting here, not saying I'm the most impactful person in this company. It takes a whole collective. Yeah. But I've initiated this because I've seen things, I've heard things, and I don't want to just be a construction company. I don't want to take this construction company and ArmCorp and be like, what's the difference? Oh, I don't know. Whoever hires me first. No. It needs to be ArmCorp right there. That's where I'm going. I'm proud to go there. We have a military background here, and you have Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. Yeah. People see those, and they hear what they hear about them or hear from their parents or their environment, and they're like, I'm going there. Yeah. That's what I want ArmCorp to be. How proud people are to be a Marine. How proud people are to be Navy SEAL. Right. That's what I want for ArmCorp. That kind of culture right there of being proud. And that's what it's going to be. That's what I want people to know. We need people that are willing to hold on for the ride and invest invest their time and their efforts into this. We have a ton of great people here that I know will be a huge part of that.
Yeah.
So that's
great.
That's it.
Kind of seemed like a culture episode, honestly.
It really did.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's my role here, I feel.
Right.
That's why I was pulled here. Like I said, I was pulled here for safety, but I've slowly realized I've been pulled here for another reason. And that's straight from God. Whatever you believe, whatever you want to believe, and follow him.
Yeah.
100% follow him, because I'm telling you, your life will change. It's just easier. Even if it's, I hate even saying this, but even if it's not real, even if it's just been a whole big joke or made up, like some other stuff in life, it's still easy and feels good to follow something like that powerful.
Yeah.
Knowing you have something right next to you that loves you no matter what. Mm-hmm. And it's just pursuing that, actively pursuing that, taking action. That's your choice. That's why I say it's not God first. It's not family first. It's not safety first. It's you first, because you have to make the choice to go follow God. You have to make the choice to put your hard hat on. You have to make the choice to treat your wife, your husband with respect. That's your choice.
For sure.
Your choice, your reactions, your everything is on you.
Yeah, I love it.
I'll leave you with that.
That was a good interview. That is a Meet the Employee interview if I've ever heard one. And remember, everyone, we have Meet the Employee culture and learn from Tim, but we're going to add a few. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but there's going to be business owners, other veterans on here. If you want to ask any questions or any comments or any concerns, please comment under this video, this podcast, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any social media you can think of. Leave a comment, leave a question. Yeah. You can even email us, Drew or Kelby at armcorpinc.com. Armcorp Inc. is ARMCORPINC.com. With that being said,
and we're just asking you guys, it's obviously we want a following. Obviously we want a group of people. Obviously we want a community. Obviously we want something where people just want to come here, like I said, and have a culture like a military branch or something like that, where they're just want to be here. Mm-hmm. It's a childhood dream to go work at ArmCorp. People are like, that's funny. No one would want to do that. That's just with the no. We can get there. Why not?
Yeah.
And possibilities are endless. So we just ask that you just engage with us on the social media platforms, like, share, comment, leave a question, so we can spread further. That's how we're going to be able to spread further, is just you guys engaging with us. And we want to be engaged with and asked questions so we can answer those and just leave our mark and help people. That's all I'm here for, is to help people. I'm not here for accolades and like being famous or anything like that. I want to help people because our people in our communities need help right now.
Yeah.
Our kids need help right now. So if that's me and that's what I can do, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So that's what I got.
Cool. Well,
appreciate
everyone,
it.
Share the show so we can grow.